I'm about to tell you a story. These questions I'm trying to answer now is what I think the only reason why I am where I am today. I'm not saying successful, I'm just saying the reason why I am where I am today. And this problem is very dear to me because going to college or not going to college is going to decide your life, I think. It's a big decision, and people get very ideological around this. People don't really talk about the pros and cons and what actually happens, but they talk about their ideology. Say, life should be like this, life should be like that. And oftentimes it gets very confusing because no one is actually making appealing and real arguments. And so I'm here to exactly do that because I've been through that. And that was a very difficult decision for me. At the end, I personally didn't go, but I want to tell you exactly why. So, okay, let's start by doing the pros and cons of college and going your way. Like, what do you actually pay? What is the price? Okay, not only monetarily, like in general. Let's start. So, if you go to college and let's say you live in America, you have to pay your college tuition, so $50,000 around, and then you have to pay. So the median salary of people without a degree, I think, is 35K. Let's say 35K for the sake of the math, okay? So 35K multiplied by 5. This is the years that you usually study. And 5 years, okay, that's quite a bit of time. And bear in mind that these 5 years are the 5 years where your brain has the most neuroplasticity. These are the years where you can actually learn the most, the fastest, and where you can actually build your identity as a person the more easily. And these are actually years where you can grind really hard, and you wouldn't be able to do the same thing when you're 30 because of energy and mental faculty and all of this, right? Yeah. So okay, going your way, you pay well the future salary, okay, and then you pay your social life. I'm gonna get into this because if you think about it, when you are, let's say, uh, 19, I give you my example, right? So I didn't go to college. So when I was 19, I had to try to socialize with people, and it's very complicated because one of the biggest advantages of going to college is that you can actually be unemployed for 5 years, and people are gonna be okay with that. This is especially important for dating because dating is competitive, right? So you need to have resources, whether it's material or other resources. And actually, when you're young, you don't have those. So the problem is that you're just 19 years old in the middle of nowhere, and you don't have money, you don't have anything. So you can absolutely forget your dating life. And other than that, honestly, there. Oh yeah, the social status. Okay, because obviously when you're on your own and you're 19, you would obviously have more status by saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to this university, this college, whatever." Oh, by the way, I forgot to say one thing. This actually doesn't apply if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or any of these professions where you need a degree. Okay, this is something different because if you want to be a doctor, there's no point on you watching this video because you're not gonna be a doctor if you don't study, right? So let's take that out of the way. So these are the three major costs, and they both are actually quite expensive, to be honest. Okay, now let's take the benefits. Okay, the benefit of college is that you get a degree. Okay, so degree actually it's good value proposition because you're actually telling someone that you can do something, right? So people don't need to take a bigger bet on you. It is more risky to take a person that never studied than a person that studied because the person that studied at least has a piece of paper saying that they listened to something for 5 years, right? You get a dating because again, if you don't go to college, there's basically no dating and social life, right? So you get this. It's very powerful, and you get whatever knowledge of your field. Okay. Now let's take. Oh yeah, and you get actually very important, very very important network. Okay. Because actually, I would argue that depending on your field, like just going to college for the network can actually be very useful because, well, you can just meet people in your field and then it's going to make everything more easy, right? Let's take here. So here is actually nothing. Because now you actually have to make your time worth something. But what do you have? So you have basically energy. Guys, energy, you cannot underestimate energy. So if you take a billionaire, 60-year-old billionaire, you say, hey, you can have the energy of a 20-year-old. You just have to pay 999 million or 1 billion. They would do it, okay? So energy. And you have time, freedom, okay? Now, I want to say something very important. Like when I made this decision, it was in 2018. I'm 25 now. It was in 2018, and the world was very different from now. So there, like the internet was very different because there was no short form content, and there was no AI. So at this point, like I had, for example, I was making music, and I had a YouTube channel. But to grow a YouTube channel, it takes you like around a year. So it was very difficult to imagine that okay, you can go on the internet and make money fast. But now, 2025, we have different tools. Okay, let me show you the tools that you have. So we have shorts. Okay, so with shorts, the big advantage is that you can have exponential growth that is very fast. So let me tell you, like, it's very important. Like, you can open an Instagram account and you can go viral like very fast. Like whether you're gonna make money and build something out of the virality, that's a completely different skill. Okay, shorts. Now in 2025, what we actually have is what I called degree inflation. Okay. So basically, with degree inflation, it means that the same degree is worth less than before. Because again, the market, we all understand that it's supply and demand, and so if you have a person that needs a lawyer, right, and then there is 5 lawyers, right, that all do the same thing, like uh, this guy maybe charges $1,000, and for the same service, this guy would actually charge you 500. Okay, and so skill is not the only differentiator because before we didn't have all these lawyers. So if you need a lawyer, you have to get whatever you can find, right? But now it's very different. So there's so many people in the same field. So supply and demand is actually starting to play a little bit against you. Just having a degree is not going to make you special, and it's not going to give you that huge of an advantage. Of course, you have a big advantage over someone that doesn't have a degree, but the comparative advantage is smaller now than before. Because again, before, if you're a plumber, you make $3,000 a month, and then you're a lawyer, you can make 10. But now everyone wants to be a lawyer, right? So the plumber maybe makes 3.5, and the lawyer makes 4. So that gap is actually smaller than you think in 2025. Another thing that we have in 2025 actually is that people are like more open-minded. Okay, before, like for example, when I was like 18 or something, like there was really a stigma about having a degree. It's like, oh, you didn't go to college. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like, no one is going to employ you. But nowadays, like you can actually, again, you can create value in ways that are very easy to show to other people. And so, for example, if I go to a car dealership, right? If I go to a car dealership, I tell them, hey, like I'm getting 10 million views a month on my Instagram reels. Can I try to do reels for you? And if it works, you pay me, I don't know, 3,000 a month. Okay. So now people are way more open because before, again, like I thought to myself, like if I do this, can I actually get an advantage? And there was really a doubt before because again, we lived in a world before where like yeah, social media and views and all of that was very important, but the online work was not respected the same way it's respected now. Because now everyone understands, okay, AI, not AI, all of this, so very respected. Another big point about 2025 is that AI is growing like crazy. Okay, so with AI growing, the truth is that a lot of the labor it's gonna move, especially the mind labor. So let me give you an example. When you have, well, let's say we have an industry, right? That is law. Okay, so in law, what happens is you have one lawyer, two lawyer, three lawyers. Like the more lawyers you have, the more kind of less important jobs they have to do. So maybe if you have a law firm with many lawyers, like this guy is actually just gonna like write documents. Okay, that is a pen, and this other guy maybe is kind of like a secretary, you know. And so he's not like practicing purely law. It's like a secretary with law knowledge, and the same guy here, it's like a writer with like basic law knowledge. The problem with AI is that these two people are gonna get wiped out completely because then this lawyer, if this guy is the boss, right? Actually, with AI help, he can write his own documents and revise them because by paying this person, he would still need to revise the documents anyways. All these lawyers or mini lawyers, quote unquote, are gonna get replaced. So, am I saying that he shouldn't go to school? No, I'm not saying that. I'm actually saying the opposite. If you think that you can be the best lawyer and be a very good lawyer, there hasn't never been a better time to follow that route because now you can actually grow exponentially and get the results that you want faster, right? So, another important thing about this decision in 2025 is that the speed of change is crazy. Like, you know, I had to make this decision in 2018, and like if I think about 3 years before, so between 2015 and 2018, like life changed, but like not like crazy, you know. But if you think about 2025 versus 2022, like life changed so much. Like in 2022, like we didn't even have ChatGPT. And like now people are getting called right, left, and center by like AI voices, and 3/4 of the content you see online is all AI generated. Like the world is changing so much that in my opinion, like committing 5 years, like locking 5 years of your life into anything is a little complicated. But I'm not saying it's useless, right? I think one of the biggest way that college is losing value is that they are not adapting the speed. Like they could technically shorten the curriculum and doing it like in 2 years. Like if college actually was only 2 years, it would make a lot of sense. Honestly, like it would make a lot more sense to compare this with the other route nowadays. But now I want to do something like I want to say in my experience. Okay, IMO. Okay, I want to say like what I personally got out of not going to college. So the biggest thing that I actually got, believe it or not, is time. Okay, because basically this is an age where you don't really know who you are, you don't know what you want, you actually like you go from being a child to becoming a man, but you're not actually a man mentally. And I think the biggest advantage that I got is that it allowed me to basically find myself and learn a lot of stuff. Like I learned how to make videos, for example. I learned how to do marketing, very important. I learned how to do ads. I learned music. You know, I had a music channel before, so I know how to make music. I know graphic design. You know, even this thing like I have an advantage because I'm a micro YouTuber now. I have 0 subscribers, but I can already make sort of quality videos because I learned how to do that like a long time ago, right? So, and fundamentally, I was able to predict the AI wave like 5 years ago. Why? Because I was talking to a guy, and he on Discord, like some South African guy, and he told me about all this AI stuff. You know, these companies in Silicon Valley are investing in this thing, and AI works this way, and we will have this thing in the future. And then, you know, I was just spending time with this guy, and I came to the conclusion that the world would change drastically, and we would move to a machine economy. And so I thought that going to college for me was not necessarily the right thing because I didn't want to be a lawyer or a doctor or anything like that. Okay, so basically, these these 5 years really cemented who I am. Like they make me the person that I am, and I will be for the rest of my life in a sense. Like things are gonna change, but they helped me understand like my values. And I traveled a lot. I went to like 25 countries. I made money. I started making money very early, actually. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about this is that when you go to college, actually, in order to start earning your first money, you need to wait 3 to 5 years. But online, you can start making money like 1 week. For me, it took me like 3 months, honestly, for my music YouTube channel at the time to pick up. But the world was different. I didn't like. It was really hard to get information before. Like now, it's very commoditized. It's very easy. Actually, you can ChatGPT anything, and so you can make money way faster. And again, the advantage that I got is that I was like 19 years old and I was making between 5 to like 10K a month with music at the time, and that opened so many doors to me. And basically, like I've been on vacation for the past 10 years, to be honest. Like I don't need to like I don't have an alarm. I don't need to wake up, go anywhere, and I can just live the life that I want. And I think that depending on what you're looking for in life, you actually should count for that. Because if I ask you a question, right? I want to ask you a question. This is a very important question. Do you want to work in a company? Okay. Like honestly, do you want to work for someone else? Like it, I know it sounds like a rhetorical question, like an easy question where you can say, "Oh no, I want to work for myself." It's not. I actually want to ask you, like, do you want to work for yourself, or do you want to work for someone else? Because if the answer is that you want to work for yourself, then frankly speaking, college is not important. Like, don't go. Like, you're actually doing a disservice to yourself. If you want to work for someone else, then do go, because it's one of the best ways to tell people that you know what you're talking about in general. But if you're really set on the fact that you don't want to work for someone else, then honestly, don't go. And that was ultimately the reason why I didn't go. I did one semester. Just I wanted to see how it was, and eventually, very very fast, I came to the conclusion that I just shouldn't go, because again, like I personally in my situation, I knew that some of my values, right? So some of my values, not all, they're just some. Like for example, I want time freedom. Okay, I value time freedom a lot. So if someone asks me, I give you $1 million, okay, but you have to come to my office 10 hours a day for a year. Actually, I might do it for a year, but for whatever 3 years, no, I wouldn't do it, because for me the time freedom is like much more important. You know, I want to have time in general. I want to be master of my time. Like I sometimes I wake up at 6 a.m. Sometimes I go to sleep at 6 a.m. Like it just personally the life that I wanted, right? And I've always wanted to explore the world, and it's very hard to explore the world when you have a career, because if I have a career and I take a gap year, for example, to go in Asia, then it wouldn't work, right? So knowing only these two things, for example, like it made the decision for me on autopilot. Like it was very easy for me to decide this, you know. So I don't want to be very biased, but I kind of am biased, right? Because this is my decision and it's what I ended up doing with my life. So I personally think that you have to know your own values and decide for yourself. However, I want to make a last point. I want to talk about skills, okay? I think the economy now, in 2025, like we are changing a lot. So before, the economy used to be really about knowledge, right? So that's why actually college got so big. So you have this college, right? Okay, you have this school, whatever, and you go here to acquire this knowledge, and then you apply this knowledge, and you basically sell it to other people, like a lawyer, right? And your time is now worth $100 an hour, or whatever, 200, or even 500. You know. This was the old method. And this works because, again, information is limited, it's scarce. People cannot do those things without you. It's still, it is still like this to this day, but it's much less than before, right? So it used to be like this, whereas now it's a matter of, in my opinion, right? 2025, it's all about product market fit. Okay? Let me give you an example. Okay. Let's say that I am again, I want to take the same example. I'm a lawyer, right? I specialize in work rights. And I help anyone. I say, okay, come to me, I'm a lawyer for work rights. If you have a problem at work, like your boss fired you, whatever. Okay. $150 an hour. Okay. But if you are a work lawyer and you go to Silicon Valley, for example, right? So a lawyer, but this is in Silicon Valley. If I'm a lawyer for, again, work rights, and I specialize in AI companies, okay? I take this because it's the buzzword right now. Like, I specialize in AI companies. How much do you think you can charge? You can charge not 150, you can easily charge $500 an hour. Easy, because AI is a bit more complicated, so yeah, you can charge way more. So same thing. Okay, if you go your own way, let's say you want to sell supplements, right? So vitamin D. Okay, there are two ways of selling this. Number one is to young people, 25, gym goers, and you tell them more energy, yeah, more gains. How much you can sell this for? What, $20 maybe? Because again, you're targeting young people, so the product market fit kind of works, but these people have no money, right? But if you you market the same product to 55-year-olds, and you tell them that it gives them longevity, which is true for vitamin D. Don't quote me on that, please. Do your own research. It's not health advice. Well, now I'm selling longevity, so this is. You agree that this is more valuable than normal energy. So like from a scale from 1 to 10, this is like 9 out of 10. It's one of the biggest problems old people face, like aging and dying. Like energy here, it's like, for a young person, it's like 3 out of 10. Like most young people have energy, right? I can sell this easily for like $60. You can. Like honestly, if you look, I know this because I did marketing for many supplement companies, and I literally did a market research for this, and I know that this works. So I think in 2025, if you can develop an eye for trends and understanding like what can benefit who and how, financially, you have no problem. And then again, it becomes another issue like, do you want to go to college to have fun? Because honestly, that it is a fun experience. So like you go there, you have parties and all of this. But me, for example, in my specific case, like I wasn't seeking fun in that way. Like I was seeking for like long-term fun. So like now, yeah, I have a lot of fun because I'm older and I have more money and all of that. Like I'm not rich, but I have more money and more time. So if I want to fly to Japan to party with my friends for 3 days, like there's no question, we can just do it. It's not a problem. And yeah, so for me, I was optimizing for like long-term actual fun than fun in the moment. So I hope this video helps.